Hi, I'm Arsenio+Hall, and I'm alive on South Beach. Come with me. Yes.
Tell us why you're here on Miami Beach at the NATPE convention.
I'm looking for my future ex-wife. You want a real answer? You know what? This is a big week for syndication and television here in Miami. And we're all meeting and planning and drinking and kissing that creepy CBS eye, as Letterman calls it.
Well, do you ever come down to South Beach just to relax and party?
I never relax. I'm a black man in America. There's no time to relax. All I do is work. Even when I'm on the toilet, I'm tweeting. I never relax. But if I ever get a moment to relax, this is the place to do it.
Well, thank you for coming down to Miami Beach and joining us here today.
Thank you for allowing me to tell Miami Beach that I'm alive.
Thank you.
Who's that pretty lady on camera? Who is the lady?
That's Dina Stewart, the internationally well-known artist.
That's Dina Stewart?
That's the Dina Stewart.
You got Dina to do camera?
Yeah.
You got Dina to do handheld for you.
You got it.
Wait, can I look behind the camera? That's Dina.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dina Stewart.
The Dina Stewart, and I'm Stuart Stewart, and we're alive on South Beach.
A show with a little bit of this.
And a little bit of that.
We went to NATPE recently.
And
now,
NATPE,
again,
NATPE stands for what?
I know, that's something that everybody says incorrectly. It's the National Association for Television Program Executives. And it's a tough one, and it's NATPE, pronounced NAPTE, whatever.
And if you say NATPE, you're not saying it right.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Nobody.
Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about what NATPE is about. It's really a marketplace where programming content, the ideas for programming, come together with the people who actually buy the programming. And there were some really big stars here, and there were some great people here. But what we found most interesting were the people that attend NATPE. And here are just a few. Why don't you tell me a little bit about why you're here at this conference?
I am here to pitch Spider-Woman Tahari. Tahari is a hybrid from the Amazon rainforest who has been abducted by a couple of geneticists. She's on a quest to overcome her arachnid instincts with the help of Zen Master Anna, but she now has to overcome also her instincts to mate in the sultry nights of South Beach and the downtown area.
Why does she have to control these instincts? Why?
Because she wants to be a fully conscious human being.
My name is Svetlana. My first name is Svetlana, and I have two last names. One is original from Russia with love, Kozlovskaya, Kozlovskaia, and another one is Spielberg. It's my Hollywood name.
So your name is Svetlana Spielberg?
Yes.
Are you any relation to Steven?
Not yet, but looking forward.
Tell me, why are you here at the NATPE convention?
I'm here to meet my friends who came from Los Angeles. I'm actually living both between Los Angeles and Miami, and in the winter most of the time I'm here, and I like to see what's going on here with TV because I'm mostly in movie business right now.
So tell me, what do you do?
In Florida, in Miami, I have my real estate office. I'm a real estate broker. But in California, I'm a rising superstar.
Do you ever wonder what happened to heartthrobs when they get older? Well, sometimes nothing. But sometimes they turn into really good actors. And this gentleman sitting next to me is an exceptionally good actor. This is Jason Priestley. I have a question to ask you. When you were a heartthrob, what was that like?
It was, you know, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. It had all of the good things that you can imagine go along with that, but it was an incredibly confusing strange time with so many demands on your time and so many people being invasive of your privacy. And when I went to theater school to learn how to be an actor, nobody ever, and there was no course on how to be a teen heartthrob and how to deal with all of the trappings of that and how that was gonna play itself out. So it's a very confusing time for a young actor if that happens to you.
But you managed to overcome that. And even before that, I saw a picture on the internet of you and Brad Pitt drinking a beer. I'm sure you've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
At that time in your life, and Brad Pitt at that time in his life, did you ever dream that you would reach the level that you did, or were you just trying to figure out how to pay your rent?
We were all struggling actors together in Hollywood back then. We were all just trying to get a job, really. It's funny how the jobs that you get and the opportunities that come their way sort of guide you in your career. And I sort of went off, and my career led me to television, and Brad's career led him into feature films. It's just kind of the way it goes.
Well, after Beverly Hills 90210, did I get it right?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, all right. I have dyslexia. Sometimes I just screw it up. After that, you became a race car driver.
I did, yeah.
A professional race car driver, and then unfortunately had an accident. And maybe you said, maybe this is a sign that I should not be driving cars anymore. How did you decide to give up racing? Because that was your love and your passion. It was
a huge part of my life for a long time. I was actually racing most of the time that I was on Beverly Hills 90210. I was sort of had a dual career happening there for a long time.
You're the kind of guy that takes lemons and turns it into lemonade, because then you became a broadcaster of races.
I did, yeah. I went to work for a year for ABC Sports, and I was a color commentator for them for the Indy Racing League, and I had a lot of fun working with those guys, and it was a good time. It was a lot of fun.
Well, you still have your passion. I can see that in the way you're speaking. But let's get down to the reason you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, you're at NATPE because you're currently starring in a show called Call Me Fitz. Mm-hmm. What's the show about?
Well, the show is about a guy named Richard Fitzpatrick, who's a used car salesman. I play Richard Fitzpatrick on the show. And Richard Fitzpatrick is a gentleman of questionable integrity. But I sort of look at him as an everyman. He's really just doing the best he can with the limited tools at his disposal. And the show follows his life in trying to sell cars and trying to keep this business alive with his alcoholic, rageaholic father.
Well, this sounds like the exact opposite of the moral compass of Brandon Walsh.
It pretty much is.
Which one do you like playing better?
I like this one better, actually, because I mean this show is it's a half-hour single-camera comedy. It's a lot more fun, and it's more fun making people laugh, I have to say.
I'm standing here actually on top of a chair with Michael Jarvie. And Michael, what are you doing at the NATPE convention?
Well, we're here trying to sell and promote our wrestling organization, TCW, Traditional Championship Wrestling. Just a bunch of fun-loving folks. We all like to beat each other up and beat people up for a living. So,
well, what made you decide to become a wrestler?
Why not? You get to beat up your boss. You get the opportunity to smack anyone around. Who wouldn't like that? Let's be honest here.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't think I'd like it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I have to stand on a chair to talk to you.
I think the situation is that you're just jealous because you want to be able to beat your boss up. Unless you're your own boss, then...
No, I'm actually jealous that you're so tall and I'll never see this height in this lifetime. That's what I'm jealous of.
Don't hate me, hate your parents, man. I can't help you out with that, right? They make shoes with whoa.
Yay! Whoa! A giant! Whoa! Welcome to our show.
Yeah.
This last segment is under the category Life Happens the Way It's Supposed to. Mm-hmm. Last November at the Miami International Book Fair, Dina and I had an opportunity to interview an author and poet by the name of Richard Blanco. Not a big name to me before that, but he was a really charming and interesting guy. What did you think?
Very engaging. I liked him immediately. He had something to say, and he was just very warm and like a poet, I guess.
This is Richard Blanco, who's a civil engineer by day, but more important, he's a wonderful poet. What kind of writings do you do?
Well, I'm a free verse poet, and my work primarily focuses on what started it all was sort of growing up in the Cuban exile community here in Miami. And I've just tried to chronicle some of that emotional history, and also it was a search for myself to sort of understand where I came from and where I might be going. So a lot of the work centers around those issues and issues of place and identity, and how do we know we're home, and how do we know what's not home? Something that I guess since a young age has always been a big question for me, and like all those big questions that really have no answer, it's become the subject of my art.
So can you give us a little sample of your poetry?
I don't have anything memorized, but I have a book in the back.
Well, what's the name of the book?
Looking for the Gulf Motel, which actually is a motel out on the west coast of Florida, and it's about this nostalgic sort of trip of trying to go find that same place. And as you know, in Florida, everything changes every 5 minutes. It's torn down and built up again, and I couldn't find this motel, and I was kind of like in a weird sort of nostalgic predicament, like my parents, when they would go on and on about how things used to be in Cuba and how much better things were in Cuba. So I find myself as a little bit of an Archie Bunker sometimes, because having grown up here and seeing this incredible change, which is in the end all good, but it's also gets you, your heart when you go around the same streets you used to be at, and everything's changed.
Speaking of change and changes, boy, did Richard Blanco's life change just a few short weeks later.
You see, he got a call from the White House, and he was invited to read the poem that he couldn't remember for our show to the world at the inauguration of Barack Obama.
Well, that brings us to the end of another episode. I'm Dina Stewart.
And I'm Stuart Stewart, and we're Alive on South Beach for
syndicatednews.net. And one more thing, they're transitional. I love them.
Well, thank you, Dana Gordon and IMAX on Lincoln Road.
Hi, Dina and Stuart. This is Ed+Bell from WLRN's South Florida Arts Beat, Alive on South Beach.